What's up, dirt bike enthusiasts? Colton Udall here, six-time Baja champion and dirt bike builder and a little bit of a riding coach. Welcome to the show. It's brought to you by Voodoo Ranger's Hard Charge Tea. Pretty good. This happens to be water. Too early in the morning for me to be drinking alcohol. So, again, welcome. Happy to have you guys here. Thanks for the views of the last video. I figured I'd just spill my guts for the Baja 500. It was fun covering it. So if you're from Champ ADV and just kind of figuring this out, we're kind of covering the Baja 500, and I'll get down to what we're here to do. The race started out 3 in the morning. They did a ceremonial start and then a restart, and in my opinion this is a bad call by Score. I think they need to well, the bad call was 3 a.m. I think they need to just let the riders race out during the sunlight. It's really easy to create an advantage by starting in front when you start at night. So if you're going to continue to start at night, Score, I believe that you need to do qualifying just like the trophy trucks do. So yeah, that's my opinion. So I think 11X had a little bit of an advantage, clean air. Obviously it's from finishing the San Felipe 250, but still they do qualifying for the top trophy trucks. They should do qualifying for the top bikes. Rolling that into the quality of the competition in the pro class. A bunch of young riders all working hard to race well, and I believe they are racing pretty good. A lot of teams are getting more informed by using AHM suspension and taking advantage of the testing that they're able to do. So if you guys are racing down in Mexico and you want that next level of information, if you get AHM suspension, you can test with us for free before the race. And if you're watching this and you got the testing help from AHM, please write in the comments down below and say what your thoughts are about the AHM service with Brandon, myself, and Graydon Day. Sorry I went into that, but it's really important for you guys. I think it's a really good opportunity just by buying suspension to get down to Mexico and learn from some individuals that learned from Johnny Campbell. So, and he's learned from Bruce Ogilvie, and there's some other big players in the game and the history, but some of that information's definitely trickled right down the river, and AHM and I are holding on to it, but sharing it also to everyone. So, the quality of the competition, I think a lot of kids are really trying. I think the kids need to take on bigger sections, and they need to train harder, and they need to focus more, and that rolls right into the mistakes that they made. So the riders didn't necessarily make mistakes, but if you don't play the game outside of racing, if you don't prepare more, you have problems and mistakes like what the mistakes that these pro class kids had. And starting off is 9X. They had a fuel issue, and they had a rear brake issue. I actually changed their rear brake with them in their pit at race mile 259. Got a little bit of footage of that, but yeah, 9X is trying hard and they're working hard for it, but just little things were kind of just left on the table. And unfortunately, the fuel issue is a hard thing. Like, I hear that maybe the main jet backed out or something, but it's so difficult to, it did or it didn't. But the facts are is like that small minute thing sometimes happens, just oddly. So there's no one to really point the finger there, but other than just all the riders on 9X need to just be cleaner in thinking about Baja racing before they go Baja racing, if that makes sense. So rolling on down the line, 11X with a fuel issue. That's a short stab essentially, and I was sitting there filming it and even smacked the axle on the bike, and I didn't see it. And unfortunately, for some reason, our social media didn't like record that live video, which is quite frustrating. So I'm trying to hunt it down with inside of the Instagram feed, but yeah, a fuel issue where they essentially had to push the bike and get fuel from a spectator is what I was told. And my tires are pretty close with 25 or with 11X. I did build their race bike, so it is a win for us in the 11X, like the motorcycle itself. So it's really cool. Champ ADV, myself, Carter Klein helped me build the bike, so, and so did Kieran a little bit. But the mistakes, 25X crashes. They crashed before the race. Bryce Davron crashed in the silt, and then he crashed, and then he made an Ironman effort, and he got his wrist feeling good enough for him to start the race and do a certain amount of miles, which good on you, Bryce. That shows that you really love it, and you're tough, you know. And so they were dealt with adversity. I think 25X will be better later on. They also kind of were dealt with some information right at the beginning of the race that was a little interesting. Through all the results, they were a consistent 5th place, and then just before the 500, they were basically DQ'd. They were thrown into the bucket with all the other riders that DQ'd. So seems like Score maybe changed an official result, which means they changed it to be the negative. And personally, if I'm going to go back to that subject, Score should just give everyone their points back and say, we're sorry. Sorry about the DQ. We're going to try not to do it. Why not? Why not? It's, you know, you pay money, you don't deserve to be DQ'd. So, anyways, the 1X bike didn't even show up to the race because they're making a statement. So, it's an interesting thing. I think there's some other people thrown in there where they're just like, I guess we'll deal with it. You feel like a whipped human. So, the mistakes going back down the line, 7X crash, Tyler Lynn, ripping young man, rides really well, super good at NGPC, good at his backyard National Hare and Hounds. He's won some of those races. I don't know him personally, but I know Baja, and I think that when you push that envelope and you ride a little too hot up over that area, which I have done, I'm guilty of it, Baja will punish you, and so he's been punished. And I'm glad he's safe. I'm glad it was just a crash, and it sounded like he also was freaking super tough, meaning he crashed and then still rode 100 and something miles, which is freaking gnarly, you know, especially with those bars down. You know, he was a little, you know, smacked his head a little bit. Alright, so the 25X bike crashes. They crashed before the race, they crashed after the race. Bryce Davron unfortunately crashed in some silt, but he manned up and rode through the pain and actually did a section which is pretty tough, so good on you, Bryce, proud of you. Unfortunately they got a DQ. Also, Brandon Prieto had a crash up near Mike's and hurt his wrist, and that's where they did a DNF, did not finish. And one of the reasons they didn't finish is because Score told them the morning of, when they went to basically go into their 5th place starting position, they said that they were DQing them for the issues at the last race. And to me, that's kind of silly, and I think that they should actually just be returning all those disqualifications back to the riders and making sure that they get some points, so it just makes their business prosper. But hard to go back on your word, I guess. So that's 25X. Hope you guys heal up. 7X, you know, Justin Morgan rode good, but Tyler Lynn crashed. And he blew his fanny pack off, and you could see that in all the videos. And it's kind of a tough game there. I've struggled with, you know, not transferring the Spica. This is a slightly different situation because he crashed and it came off. But the factor is, like, when you're a mature guy, you kind of regroup and look around and find your fanny pack and figure out how you're going to get it. continue with it, whether it's duct tape or whatever. And I'm huge. I'm guilty rushing things like that. So it just comes from being a young man. The mistakes, like we're talking about. He did ride really well. Continued to pull time on Kieran on the 11X bike, even with down handlebars. So yeah, good on him for just getting to the end of the section, and glad he stayed safe. 8X took a marked road, which hit him pretty hard. So yeah, you gotta know where you're going. I've done that too. So the mistakes, that's what we're talking about, and the mistakes were aplenty at this race for a lot of teams, and only a few clean guys really. And 13X is actually rolling right into the honorable mentions. Is 13X. They rode a real clean race, in my opinion. Their pit was good with San Diego Powerhouse and some of Mark's team. I got some of that on film. They're at race mile 259 or so. They rode consistent. All the riders didn't make any mistakes. They were there all day. So honorable mention. Good job to 13X. You guys, you just need to learn how to pre-run better, go a little faster, be a little stronger, and the win's going to come to you. Same thing for 15X. I know they spent a lot of time doing some testing alongside AHM, and they put it together. They had a clean ride in my opinion, and they see the Baja pace and what some of those guys are doing, and it's good for them. I can see nothing but good results for 15X in the future. So good job to you guys. And lastly, Armando Ortiz's team, 110 X-Ray, the pro limited team. That kid Armando, he's working hard. He's trying to do everything he can. He's got some sponsors in Ensenada. His team looks good. He needs to just keep working hard. He's got some good riders around him. He needs some work on his race bike. He probably should call Champ ADV to get his race bike done properly, but he did show up to the AHM test, and we kind of worked some kinks out, but there's some more faults there, Armando. And yeah, in order to be the best, you got to make sure that you really prep your bike really good, but good job. Now, the man to beat. I did this, I kind of, made the man to beat kind of award, I guess, for the 250. Justin Morgan was the man to beat at that race, and Carter Klein was third in that little recap, and they've swapped positions. The man to beat is Carter Klein. He showed up. He he rode less of a section than Justin Morgan, but he proved to pull time, and he pulled quite a bit in my opinion, and he pulled time on the whole field, and significantly though on 7X. And so Carter Klein's the man to beat. He didn't make a lot of mistakes. He did have a stupid little washout, and unfortunately that kind of thing happens when you lose focus. But the Carter Klein being the man to beat, he's got a friend, and here's the story. His name's Grant Caywell. They're best friends. They're kind of in the range of butt buddies, to tell you the truth. But Grant Caywell is the man. He shows up to his first Baja race ever. He's ridden down in Mexico with me a few times. I built him a race bike. He rode all 480 miles of the race by himself, and he gets 6th place overall. That is like unbelievable. 480 miles. Let me know next time you ride 480 miles and how you feel, okay? It is extremely hard. There's very few people on the peninsula that are capable of doing that. And the guy in third is the one guy that is capable of doing that, Justin Morgan. He rode a decent race, but got poled, but still showed the most consistency and made the longest pole without the mistakes. And at the end, had to adversify, basically push through a failing motorcycle, and that's freaking difficult. That is hard to keep pushing, but he's got the heart. He's willing to do what it takes, and that's why he's a multi-time champion. So Carter Klein, the man to beat. Grant Caywell, the sensation. Carter Klein's 3 for 3, just so you guys know. 3 for 3 on your first ever Baja race. For 3 wins out of the first 3 you enter is quite amazing. but he's still got more work to do because I'm his trainer and I know exactly how fit he is. And I can tell you that there's always chinks in your armor and you can clean it up. So Grant Kaywell, good on you, man. The guy's a lineman. He paid me to rebuild his bike and went out there. And his dad actually Ironman the Baja 1000 on the same motorcycle, which this is the real, awesome thing about the story is he brought the bike to me and he's like, dude, I want to just do whatever. We replaced the case, the left side engine case, the cylinder head. He went with an R cylinder head, a new carburetor, new swing arm, just like basically threw 12 grand at the thing. And it's a beautiful motorcycle. He was able to get a 6th place finish. I'm really proud of you, Grant. And then again, Justin Morgan, 3rd place. Ironman effort out of you for putting in a lot of miles and then having to push the bike. So in closing, if you guys feel like you could benefit from my services, I'd really like to help those that want help. And I offer riding schools, I offer riding tours, and I build race bikes. I built the 11X bike and I built 64X, and all pretty much just a couple weeks ago we did a group test out here, and those guys got pretty dialed in. I've got a great relationship with AHM and they do a really good job. You guys need to understand one more thing, and I've already kind of explained it, but AHM offers a free service, a free setup service for your team if you are using their suspension at any Baja race. So it means you get more than just suspension. You get insight from someone like me or from someone like Brandon or Graydon. Graydon's a mechanical engineer. Brandon's been in the suspension game for nearly, it's approaching 15 years. So the guy rides. It's a great combo for you guys, and I wouldn't be pushing it if I really didn't believe in it, but I know that you'll see in the comments below the people saying what they feel about the AHM pre-race service. Thanks to Baja Bound Insurance for all these updates, and New Belgium Brewery's Voodoo Ranger hard charge. This stuff's kind of gnarly, but it's good if you're going to be a party animal like some of the kids, like Carter Klein's crew. And 64X. Switch to hard charge to you guys. Seriously, they support the sport, and eventually we're going to probably have a hard charged award at the next race. Just got to get them to, give the dollars up, if you get what I'm saying. So thank you to all the contributors who sent in videos. We got to get that going a little bit better. It takes a lot of work from the guys at AHM and myself, and there's a few more contributors, but if you guys are watching this, you want to come down to Mexico and you want to, yes, you're going to have to spend a little bit of money for you to enjoy Baja, but we've got expenses. So if you have a Starlink, if you want to become a contributor, there's some things we can keep moving forward with at the Baja 400 and make better content. So it takes everyone. Although I am kind of the face of it, I really appreciate everyone and just the stoke you guys are having. So again, see you at the next one. Hopefully more YouTube content in the future, bike builds. I'll do a walk around and post that actually after this video. I'm gonna post the walk around of the 11X race bike so you guys can see everything I did to it. I try to do my best to explain most things. Sometimes I forget stuff, but if you got a question, leave it in the comments below, and appreciate you guys.